Hi, my name is Barbara Avila, and I'm the owner of Synergy Autism Center, and where we serve families and individuals experiencing autism. And I'm here to talk to you today about auditory processing. And the name of this, I decided, is Seriously Stop Relying on Auditory Processing. And I want to explain that and give you, okay, if I'm not going to rely on that, what can I rely on? And I'm going to make this short and sweet. So I want you to imagine for a moment. I want you to imagine if this was happening to you, that the auditory information that you were hearing had no level of prioritization. It was just came in kind of chaotic, messy, scattered, cluttered. Okay? So I want you to imagine that for a minute. It would be a mess. It would be so hard. You'd hear it all, but you would need some time to kind of think through how to sift through it to know what was most important in that given situation if it was all coming in at the same time. So in order for you to decide what was important or not, it would take some time. Okay? So imagine auditory coming in, chaotic, scattered, tons, etc. It would take some time. Second thing is I want you to imagine that if that was happening to you, your immediate go-to would have to be visual information. Because your whole system says, oh, wait a minute, this auditory is coming in. I need time to process what's important. And so if I'm having to respond to something, I'm going to rely on visual because that's stronger for me. I can prioritize that easier. Okay? So that's going to be your go-to of what you can see, and you're going to rely really heavily on that, and it's going to help you make sense of the world. Okay? So then the third thing is I want you to pretend for a moment. I want you to pretend that the child that you're, or the individual or whoever it is with autism that you know is, I want you to actually pretend that they can't hear you. Okay? So go into a scenario with them today, tomorrow, and I want you to pretend they can't hear you. Even if they're talking to you, etc. Pretend they can't hear you. What are you going to do? You're going to offer visual information. You're going to have to use your body to position, to demonstrate, to use gestures. All those other wonderful things, you will have to rely on those if you assume that this person can't hear you. Okay, obviously, when I said the first thing is they can hear you, it's just coming in chaotic. So what you might do then next is actually think about, okay, so they can hear me, but they're having trouble prioritizing, so I need to make sure that my body is really clear visually, using gestures, maybe writing things down, make things clear. But then now I want you to consider that the individual is struggling with prioritizing, okay? So with what they hear. So what are you going to do if they're having trouble with prioritizing? Well, and determining what's important and what's not in what you say. Well, common sense tells you that you're going to simplify your words to just the most salient pieces of information and cut out the extra fluff that we tend to put in language, which I'm sure I'm doing right now. But yeah, so if you're offering something that you want to do with them, instead of saying, oh, I think it would be really fun to do blah, 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 let's read a book together, blah, 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 I think it has this in it, blah, blah, blah. None of that. Just go, book. And then put your hand out, visual, that you want them to come with you. The rest, shush, because auditory-wise, that's going to make so much more sense. You're going to take that extra layer out of prioritizing for them, and you're going to give them visual information, which is going to be the most immediately helpful for them. Okay? So I want you to go try with the person in your life that has autism, or people in your life who have autism. I want you to try for 10 minutes to use your body, gestures, and written information, potentially, if you can, or drawn. So it doesn't have to be written. And I don't want you to think that you have to use, colored line drawings and things like that. Just written information, something out on the paper, to guide or interact with that person. And I want you to do that just for 10 minutes only. And only say what's most important. So only use salient words. And then I want you to watch how those simple accommodations in those 10 minutes make you make more sense to that person. What happens then when you make more sense is that they relax. People relax. People start making eye contact because you make sense. You're not being overwhelming, so you're less threatening. So it becomes a much more enjoyable social interaction, which is the crux of autism that we want to target. So make sure that the accommodations are there. So hopefully that helps you give a little bit more insight into the autistic mind of what might be happening for them, that you might be able to make things a little bit more easy and have them be curious about you because you allow them to be. All right. Thanks, guys. Bye.